What's up, everybody? It's allhiphop.com. We are here with the legendary Ice-T. What's up, man?
Good to see you, player. Always a treat.
Yeah.
Players meet.
Absolutely, absolutely. True honor, man. Now, we're going to get into the new music, right? But the first thing I want to get in with you, these top 50 lists.
Yeah, interesting.
I'm very, very upset that at least the first list did not have Ice-T in it.
I've never really been on a list. I've never been that rapper, you know, like one time I read Cube had me on his list. But I mean, you know, lists are written from perspectives. You know, I'm quite sure there's a lot of people out there that are Ice-T fans that would have me high on their list. That doesn't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? I looked at the first list. The first list was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
And it didn't have myself. It didn't have Chuck. It didn't have KRS-One.
Right.
I don't even think it had Q.
Or
he wasn't
in
where he should have been.
Yeah.
Or Scarface. You know, when I was selling a lot of records and I was really, really hot, like on the cover of every magazine, there was a time when it shifted and we weren't selling as many records. And at first my ego got to me, like, damn, man, what's going on? But it was a time change. And then at the same time, Wu-Tang wasn't selling as many records.
Yeah.
Chuck D wasn't selling as many records. Big Daddy Kane. So when I look around and I see people, my peers, and I realize, well, that's just a time, and it wasn't something I should take personally. And honestly, that's what spurred me to get more into acting and to try to come up with alternate flows of income, revenue. But you know what I'm saying, I don't take those lists personally because I know I'm on the top of somebody's list.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're definitely at the top of my list.
That's what's up. Thank
you. Yeah. So you're back in the studio recording new music. It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't.
Hip hop music.
Rap music, hip hop. I've been doing a lot of features. I've been working with a lot of different people on their music, which I love doing. But I just wasn't inspired.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to. Rap took a different turn. The style of music now is very producer driven. It's clubby. You know, you go in the club, I could dance to it all night long and stuff. But it's different than the rap music I made. Yeah. And I'm about artistic integrity. Like, do what you do. You know, that's what you do. When I hear Rakim, I want to hear bars. That's what I want to hear out of Ra. That's what he does. When I want to hear, like I say, Wu-Tang, it should be rugged. Yeah. That bring the motherfucking ruckus. Yeah. You know, that's a boom, boom. When I first heard that, I was like, yo, this shit is so hard. And so with Ice-T, it's always been criminal adventures, stories, a lot of game involved in it. And I also defined a lot of things, like straight up nigga. Some of y'all niggas is bitches too. What a hustler is, what the pusher, all the different slangs in the hood. I would define what's a hustler, what's a high roller. Right. So kind of like that's my music. My music was an attempt to do what Iceberg Slim did in books over beats. Right. So I was sitting around and people were like, yo, Ice, man, do another album. And I'm like, I just don't feel like doing an album. Like, am I going to get on the radio? Or are they going to even play my records? You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm in my 60s now. I'm like, they don't want to hear no more. So then I just got an idea. Like I said, you know what? I've been in film. What if I made a trilogy that was where the videos were as important as the song, and do 1, 2, 3 songs to tell like a story of this criminal that's going through these different things. And as I started to work on it, I was watching Power, and I'm like, yo, Ghost is dope, but does it look like that nigga even has one day of happiness? Like, in the midst of all this money, and they just made this, and they got all these keys, no one's happy ever. Right. And I'm like, that's what it's really like. Yeah. And I know that firsthand. I'm not saying I was a drug dealer on that level, but I know the life of having the feds in your rear view, of partying, but always stressing that life. And so that's what I started working on. So the Feds trilogy is 3 songs. The first song I released, I did it out of order like Lucas, George Lucas. So I dropped the middle one first, which is called Feds in My Rear View, that people have seen. If you haven't seen it, it's on allhiphop.com. I'm releasing now this week. You guys are going to debut it. Another one, which is called Too Old for the Dumb Shit, which is actually part 1. And the last one is called The Hanging, or The Catching Comes Before the Hanging.
Okay.
And it's 3 parts. It's just something different, Chuck. It's just trying to be, we got to keep being creative.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. First of all, man, I got to give you props for putting so much into the art. You know, so many rappers just rap to rap, you know, and then they degrade to the point where people like, man, I'm not even trying to hear nothing you have to say, but you actually, it's the opposite. Because you've been protective of your brand and protective of the art that you produce, you know, you putting out something that people run to and actually like.
Well, it is art to me.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you could play around rapping. I think when I first started, I didn't know it was an art. I used to just rhyme on the corner and rap to my friends and to the girls. But then after a while, you know, when you start hanging around these real rappers, they take it serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't come up in here bullshitting. I mean, when I first started rapping, I had to go in the studio with Melly Mel and Grandmaster Caz.
Right.
Them niggas was not bullshitting. You know, get your bars up, get it together. So I did a movie called The Art of Rap. I really believe that this is an American-born art form, and rap can be used to do a lot of things. You have people like Lauryn Hill, you have people like Common that can take rap and uplift people. You've got party rappers, you've got, like I call them verbal gymnasts, like Eminem, that can, you know, Tech Nine, that can spit lyrics all kinds of crazy ways. Buster's one of those that can rhyme like that. You've got people that can tell you stories of the streets and poverty, and what the grind really is. You got the cats in Alabama, the trappers, that are telling you about what life is like in the dope game. So there's a lot of ways you can use it. Yeah. But don't fuck over it. Appreciate it, because look what it's done. It's taken a lot of us out of the streets, out of the trouble, out of the taking penitentiary chances, and giving us a chance to live. You know what I'm saying? And I think, you know, when people like, oh, I don't give a fuck, you know, I'm just getting paid, I don't really care, you know, that's disrespectful to people that are really, really putting their heart into this. You know, so I try to just keep a certain standard, you know, whether you think I can rap or you like my flow or you this, that, and the third, that's all your opinion, that's all your perspective. But you can't say Ice-T ever just didn't give a fuck. Right. You know, I always try to do the best I can. Okay.
Now the visuals, shout out to Jay Scorsese, right?
yeah, Jay Rodriguez, aka Scorsese.
Yeah.
We just hooked his name up and took him to that next level, because that's part of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, how many Montanas are there in hip hop? You know, so we know Martin Scorsese is the man. So and he's Jay Scorsese.
Yeah. He did his thing, definitely. Now it's interesting the way you did it, because it seems like it's blending your life with fiction. You know what I mean? It's almost like, is he talking about his real life or is he acting?
It's part both. My music has always been what I call faction. It's factual things put into a fictional story to make it more entertaining. So it's absolutely entertainment. Have I lived these different things in this? Yes. Not all right now, but you know, I know what it's like to roll in an armored Escalade. I know what it's like to use satellite phones and not use cellular phones. I know why you do that. So I know all these different things. So what I do is I create a story and I just make it as authentic as it could possibly be. I know some, you know, like in Feds, where we say we were actually in Mexico, I know some cats that actually went to Mexico.
Right.
They're like, yo, we gonna go right to the fucking place where this shit is coming from, but now we got to get it across the border.
Right.
Well, you know what? The cops will bring it across the border if you give them a piece of the action. So all these things are real, but the character Ice-T or the in this, it brings it to light. So when you're listening to it, if you're really in the game, you like, oh, yo, the nigga knows. Oh, like there's one guy that reviewed. One guy reviewed the other record, the record, and he goes, "Oh yeah, Fed served him when he started moving dog food. Isn't that interesting? He went to jail when he started doing legit shit." I'm like, dog food is heroin, motherfucker. Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the slang, they don't even know what we're talking about, and that's part of hip hop is being. I call what I'm trying to do is immersion. Like I want you to listen to the song and immerse yourself into this 3-part trilogy to where you don't even realize you were listening to rap records, to like you were watching a story and you were just intrigued like what's going to happen next. Right. It's just another angle to hit the target. That's all.
Now you're dropping this through Empire, right? And your own label, I know.
Well, now labels, smables.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at this point, I always refer to back in the day because people have to understand that when you needed a label was when you had to go in a recording studio. Recording studios were $150 an hour, and nobody could, and you used 2-inch tape, and no one could afford to do it, so you had to get a loan. Right. Now people are making music in their house on their laptops. Okay, so now you go to the label and label these majors. They want all this money for what? What are they actually doing? They're putting it up on websites, right? And they're basically accounting. So what we did was we got a distribution deal with Empire. They put it up on the sites. They account to us. They give us spreadsheets to tell us what it's selling and what's it's streaming, and we do the promotion. What is the label really gonna do now? Yeah. Back in the day when when the labels had to go to do retail and they had to go to different stores, it was a problem because if you sent your records to Atlanta and they sold 5,000 copies, you go to Atlanta try to collect your money. They like, who are you, nigga? We don't know you. Right. What's happening? They just jack you. Right. Take your money. So you had to have a label that could actually use leverage to get your money. Well, you're not gonna get that Madonna record if you don't pay up on this. That was all that kind of shit. Nowadays, we're gonna see what it does. We're gonna see what it does. But yeah, we're using Empire. This is our. We did one before, but the internet wasn't even as full blown as it is now. So we're just putting out a single through Empire. The last one came out through Orchard. Feds is on Orchard. I did that as a favor for Mark Live and the Legends recordings and all that. This one is just coming out on Pay Up Final Level through. We'll just see what it does. Okay. It's all experimental to me at this point. You know, I have never really streamed billions of records like Snoop. I was talking to Snoop the other day. He goes, "Yeah, I got a plaque for streaming so many billion records. But where's the money?" Like, they ain't give me no check with that plaque. I got the plaque. I wanted to, where's the money? Yeah. So it's now a different game, and I'm not embarrassed to say I just don't know. I'm not as familiar with it because I haven't really been heavy in the rap business for a minute, for over 10 years.
So the streaming aspect of it, do you know, the internet, the streaming, social media, I mean, all of these things have completely changed since your last outing.
Yeah, absolutely. Streaming is, I mean, if you're a young artist, and say you got 1,000 fans, just 1,000 fans, and you put out an album and they just want to hear it over and over and over, it'll stream a lot of numbers. Yeah. It'll stream. You know, streaming is kind of like paying to listen to it. But we make 0.007 cents a stream on Spotify. I'm like, that's some pimping, man. They done figured out a way to break down a penny. I don't even know a pimp that can break a penny down. But hey, you know, it's what it is. And Quincy Jones told me a long time ago, he said, "Ice, you want to lose a fight, fight the future." So it's not going to go backwards. This is what it is. Yeah. And fortunately, I'm now putting out music, and it's not a a live or die situation. You know what I'm saying? I got my bills paid, so I'm cool. We'll just see what it does.
Yeah.
We'll see what it does. But I'm quite sure the feds. See, when I dropped feds, I just wanted to see did the people even give a fuck? Do they want to still hear Ice-T?
Right.
Is everybody gonna say, nigga, go lay down, chill? But the response was the absolute different. It was like, God damn it, man, thank God. We want it, we want it, we want it. So I'm like, okay, so that got me, what's the word? Motivated,
right?
Inspired. I'm like, yo, we got to make 2-0 for the dumb shit. Got to be hotter than that one,
right?
And so, you know, the hanging has to be hotter than that one, because I think also, if I could get a hit, a real big hit, and I could really move something, it's good for everybody in hip hop, because, you know, cats, you know, in their prime or past their prime, it says you can still have a hit record.
Right. Absolutely.
It says you can still do it. Don't throw in the towel. You know, you can still do it. So, and to the young artists, why wouldn't you want me to have a hit record? Because it means that your career could last longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
Think about it. Why say, okay, once you're 35, you can't rap no more? Well, what you're doing is shooting yourself in the foot. Think about it. You want a person like Lil Wayne to go into his 40s and Jay-Z and them to keep rapping, because that means you could do it forever.
Right.
And that's a good look. And in rock and roll, there's no expiration date. Ozzy Osbourne's out there. I mean, I was out, Mick Jagger's 72.
Right.
Still selling out stadiums.
Yeah.
So I think that as long as the music is good, as long as the content is, I don't like the word relevant, because relevant is perspective. What's relevant to a 15-year-old kid is the new Air Jordans. What relevant to me could be the price of jet fuel.
Right.
It has to deal with where your life is and what you're dealing with. So what is particularly relevant? I would say it's good. If it's good, then, you know.
Yeah. Well, hey, I agree with you. And I say this to people all the time, especially to people in a certain age bracket. If you're 40 and up and you don't listen to hip hop, you part of the problem, because there's still like so much good hip hop out there. Not only young artists, but the people that you grew up with, that you grew up on, like Chuck D, you know, Be Real, Cypress Hill. I mean, obviously there's Jay-Z, Eminem, T.I.
But see, every artist is going to catch a different person's ear. You see what I'm saying? Like, I like Little Baby. You know, that motherfucker got a record talking about he was kind of baby to fuck the babysitter. I'm like, this is my nigga, man. I need to meet this nigga, right? So I'm not the kind of guy, I'm not just gonna say I like everybody, but you know, I love 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz ain't the youngest cat out there, but he's from the new thing. I listen to Drake. I listen to different certain people. You gonna say, oh, that's dope. Okay, next song. Now I'm not feeling that song, but I like this song. I like that song. I mean, it's just taste. I mean, that's what it is. Right. Everybody's taste is different.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people that listen to my shit and be like, yo, that shit's too hard, man. That shit's violent. That shit is aggressive. And then there's some people like, it ain't hard enough. You know? So that's the beauty of this, though, man. You just put it out there. Art is something you put out there, and then you just see who catches on to it.
Right.
You know, and hopefully people will dig it.
Okay.
When we did Dog in the Wax, that was supposed to have been the song, and we flipped it over. My boy Randy was like, yo, man, run this 808. And we just rocked 6 in the morning. And like Chuck says, the B-side wins again. And that song, like, I think as an artist, like, you're coming out and you're doing your stuff, and then the fans will tell you, that's your shit. And you go, word?
Yeah.
And I thought 6 in the morning was a throwaway track, because I'm just like, nobody want to hear this crime shit. And it turned out to become my identity.
Right.
So by the time we got to the OG album, once again, they're like, let's do a song. So everybody wanted 6 in the morning. I was like, let's do a prequel. And so we did the prequel, which is Midnight that ends at 6 in the morning.
Right.
So that was the way of connecting those two songs together. And Midnight is much more gangster. It's a nightmare of riding through L.A. being chased by some jackers, and the kind of shit that could happen.
Right. Have you ever thought of, not even thought of, I'm putting it in the air. Are we going to get an Ice-T biopic, a movie about your life? You got several books.
I'm doing a book right now. I'm in the process of doing a book with what's the name of the company, Mick, that's doing it? Simon and Schuster.
Okay.
Called Split Decision.
Okay.
And Split Decision is a book about me and one of my partners named Spike. Spike was one of my guys, my crimies, who was in the streets with me. All the stories and tales I've talked about, he was there.
Okay.
In the car with me.
Okay.
When I tried to rap, he wanted to become a rapper.
Right.
We went on tour together, and he went after one last lick. During this particular lick, somebody got killed. He didn't kill him, but one of the people involved with it killed him. He got the mastermind for the murder, and he just did 26 years.
Wow.
So it's a song about two people that are on the exact same path and one split decision. And my entire career happened while he was in prison.
Wow.
And he just came home. And be honest, he's fucked up right now. You know, he's got murder. He's back. He's not finna break the law again.
Right.
And when all you know is basically crime, and you come back and you got to get a legit job, your ego's at stake.
Yeah.
It's just rough.
Yeah.
It's rough. And we're going to write a book together as a cautionary tale to let people know that, you know, one split decision can change the trajectory of your entire life.
Right. Yeah.
I thought about doing a movie, but then I'm watching the Wu-Tang saga.
Yeah.
I'm so entranced in everything that happens prior to them becoming musicians. And I had an idea for a story of my life, but it was all going to be pre-rap. And the last scene would be me talking to one of my homies in prison. I'm like, yo, I'm about to try this new shit called rap. What y'all think? What you think? And niggas is like, don't come here, cuz, you know. And that's the end of the movie. It's not even me. It has nothing to do with anything.
But that would be dope. Because remember, the Tupac movie, I think the biggest mistake they made was trying to fit his whole life into 2 hours or whatever.
Right.
You know, so
I think it's more intriguing to learn where we come from. I think that's the inspirational stuff. To watch RZA steal a SB12 and to watch Raekwon sleeping on a roof and Ghostface and all, that is intriguing to me, for them to be able to come from that to who we know.
Yeah.
And people will come over and sit in my house now, and they have no idea that I used to sleep in the back of a car. You know, I was homeless. I went through a lot of shit. You know, hustler's life is up and down. Some days I'll be flossing, next day I'm touching. I don't know, you know, because when you're doing what I was doing, which was basically hitting licks, you're gonna have a lot of money, but you're not investing it.
Yeah.
You're spending it because you know you can do another lick. It's not like a drug dealer who has a hustle that continues and grows and you recop and you know, people that basically rob, they go from lick to lick, and they're not really investing in anything other than the way they look.
Yeah.
You know, and as Mob D said, your days is numbered in low digits, and eventually the odds will catch up with you.
Yeah. Right.
You know, so rap came along just in fucking time, and you know, like I say, it saved my life. It detoured me away from that while all my friends went to prison.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I like about you, man. I mean, I've noticed that you still keep a lot of the same people around, or give them opportunities or help them get money. You may not give, I don't know what you do financially, but I do know that you work with people.
Well, solidarity to me is a trademark of character. If I meet you and you ain't got nobody around you from the back in the day, maybe something's wrong with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you got to have one homie or somebody that can vouch for you. Somebody make couple.
Right.
You know, like some of my guys I went to junior high school with, I went to high school with, but I'm not a do-low nigga. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna cross you. People cross me, and like people say, well, what's the rule with Ice-T to be your friend? Don't cross me.
Right.
Don't cross me. Don't let me catch you doing no fuck shit.
Yeah.
You know? And also, you can make a mistake, but I know when it's intentional. Like somebody say, well, yo, Chuck dish you. Nah, that was a mistake. Because if I'm a dish you, I'm a dish you.
Right.
It won't be no, I don't believe in like, motherfuckers, oh, I'm going to throw shade or subbing a nigga. I'll let a nigga know.
Right.
Fuck you, nigga. You know, I don't got no motherfucking problems with that. But I'm not going to sub a nigga.
Right.
You know, like, what? That's corny. That's that new shit. I'm just like, look. So, you know, when you see people like Mickey or you see Shawnee Sean or you see people, they've been loyal. They've been down for a long time.
Yeah.
But, and they're protective. They like, you. Who are you? You knew. You know, because, you know, we've kind of built not only a business relationship, but a family relationship. But it's never too late for somebody to go left. And that's the whole thing. See, the thing with humans is you got to remember, humans have free will.
Yeah.
And we as being men, we know we have free will. And at any moment, we're capable of doing the dumbest, stupidest bullshit.
Yeah.
So to think somebody will never cross you or never rat, you just never know. You don't know what position they in. Your man be like, yo, man, I was fucked up, man. Man, my girl left me out. I didn't mean to steal that from you, man.
Right.
I was fucked up. But you did it, though.
Yeah.
See, when somebody, if you're talking about hurting a motherfucker or crossing a nigga, you can't say I won't cross you because I'll get caught. That's the bullshit. It's just, I just can't do it.
Right.
I can't do it.
Right.
That's a real motherfucker.
Yeah.
But somebody like, yeah, but that nigga will catch you. You know, like, well, really, you on that bullshit. That's why you're not doing it because you think you get caught.
Right.
Or is it in you?
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, people go through different things. That's like when I'm dealing with my friends and they might go through drugs. Well, then they're not really the same person.
Yeah.
You know, your boy that's high, he'll rob you and apologize. I'm fucked up, man. I'm sorry, man. I love you.
Right.
So you got to be aware of all those different dynamics, man.